If you've been writing things down but still feel unfocused and a little bit scattered, you are not alone. And your planner is not the problem. It's just that you may need to find a better way to use your planner. Hey, I am Brashana Miller. Welcome back to Purpose and Plans. I help women reconnect with their vision and identity in Christ so that they can live and plan a life that is filled with vision and intention and the purpose that God created for them. And on today's video, I'm going to walk you through how you can get the most out of your planner so that you can feel organized, focused, and on top of the things that matters the most. I'm going to share with you 8 practical tips that you can start implementing today so that your planner can start working for you and not against you in your actual life. So tip number 1 is to choose a planner that is actually going to work for you and not something that is popular or trendy. Many of us have been guilty of wanting to buy the pretty planner that's very popular, things that are being launched, different releases of planners, because there's truly no shortage of planners on the market today. And while it may be very enticing to buy the newest planner or the most popular planner, you really want to make sure that you are using a planner that is going to support you and help you with how you process information. If you're buying planners and you find that you're constantly hopping around with different types of planners, not that there's anything wrong with trying out new things, but if you're buying planners just because you think it's the latest and greatest thing to have, but yet you're not using it, then you may find that you're just wasting money and spending money on things that you really don't need. Your planner should be something that is supporting you and helping you versus something where you feel like you're part of the in crowd and using the latest, greatest, and most popular planner. If you have a planner that you've bought or a planner that you're using, but you find that you're still feeling scattered, you feel like you're trying to fit a square into a round hole, and you don't feel like you really have the support or you're not able to process information or be focused the way you truly know you can be or want to be, then you may need to consider using a different type of planner. So tip number 2 is just to keep it simple. Have a place where you can jot things down, whether it's in the same notebook or planner or a different notebook, however you choose to do that, you should have a dedicated place or places where you can write down your to-dos, jot down your thoughts so that you are keeping your mental space clear and free as possible to be able to focus on the things that are actually in front of you. So you want to be able to keep those things really simple and just know where you need to go to, whether it's a planner, your notebook. You want to be able to easily, quickly retrieve those to-do items that you have to do from your notebook. So keep it very simple. And it doesn't have to be in a pretty or perfect format. While I love pretty, I love decorating my planner with stickers. I use washi tapes and highlighters and all of those things. The most important part is to just keep it simple and do what is necessary for you to have that focused day that you desire. Tip number 3 is to identify what you actually need to track. There are so many things that you could track. You could track absolutely anything that you wanted to in your planner. But at the end of the day, some of it can just be a little bit overwhelming. And sometimes you find yourself that you're trying to track things that you're just actually not tracking because you have not been able to stay on top of it. So you want to identify what you actually need to track. Think about where you are in your life. What responsibilities do you have? What commitments and obligations do you have? What are some things that you are managing, whether in your home or with your children or with others? What are some things that are really important that require you to stay on top of, and you find ways that you can track those things? So when you have a really good picture of what it is that is important for you to track, you want to be able to build your planner, your routine, and your things around that versus just trying to find various trackers that you can add to your planner so that you can just have pretty graphs or bar graphs or all sorts of things in your planner that will make it look pretty, but yet you're still not getting the support that you need and you're not getting the data that you need. So just using me as an example, there are a couple of things that I do track in my planner. I like to track my steps. This is something that I recently started doing because I found that I was not getting getting enough movement and exercise into my day. And so because I knew that this was something that I wanted to improve, I added a step tracker to my planner. There was at one point where I was tracking my water intake and I wanted to make sure that I was getting in at least 8 glasses of water. I don't track my water anymore because I've actually always been a person who drinks a lot of water throughout the day. So I was just tracking something just for the sake of tracking it because I thought it was cool and it was nice to have, but really there was no need for me to track water in my planner and it wasn't giving me any data that I needed to improve. I actually was just tracking something just for the sake of tracking. So that means that I was taking time to record something that I really didn't need to record in my planner. And it was also taking up space in my planner and causing me to do something in my planner that I really didn't need to do. Now, if there's a time when I feel like I need to track my water, it could be because of something that I'm doing in particular. So there are times when you may want to change out your trackers depending on what you're going through, what you're doing, what is it that you need to stay on top of right now versus later. So you want to make sure that you are tracking the things that are actually going to help you and support you in your lifestyle needs at this current time. The fourth tip is to keep your planner visible. And this is also really a big one because while we love planners, the planners are meant to be used. And so if you are using a planner, you have a planner, but yet you don't use it on a daily basis, then you're not going to get the most out of your planner. So you want to keep your planner visible. When I'm using my planner, which is basically every day, I keep my planner open on my desk, and I am constantly referring back to my planner on the daily basis throughout the day because I want to make sure that there are things that I need to be reminded of, things that I need to do that I can check off, and it allows me to make sure that I'm doing what I plan to do and what I intended to do versus just coming up with things in my mind and doing the things that are coming to me at that very moment, but never actually doing the things that I planned out to do for that day. So you want to keep your planner visible so that you are constantly aware of what it is that you need to do, which will help you also stay focused and stay organized. And also it creates a little bit of motivation because when you can see that you are being organized and focused in your day and you are moving along your to-do list or however you keep your to-dos written out and you see that you're actually getting those things done, it creates a sense of satisfaction, it creates some motivation, and it builds momentum in your day to keep going. And so you want to be able to have your planner open and visible and accessible to you within an arm's reach at any time so that you can stay focused. Tip number 5 is to set a time to use your planner with check-ins, whether that is daily or weekly. You want to have some check-ins. It's really important that in order to get the most out of your planner, you need to check in with yourself daily. There are different ways that you can do this, whether you're using your planner or if you're using some digital tool to help you do that. But you want to check in with your planner and have a dedicated time when you are actually planning. So I generally will plan on a Sunday. And I will use that time, a certain time during the day on Sunday to plan out my week. Now, when I plan on Sunday, it can be maybe midday. Sometimes it's at night. It just really depends on what we have going on because I am a pastor's wife and there's sometimes our Sundays can be really full and busy. And so depending on the time that I have available to me, I might plan during the middle of the day. I might plan at night. But the thing is you want to have a dedicated time to do that. I actually write down in my planner when I'm going to plan for the next week. And so that is a time that I set for myself to have an appointment with myself and what I need to focus on for the following week. I find this to be really helpful and very supportive for me and my lifestyle needs, because being a working mom, being a pastor's wife, having 3 kids in different ages of school, elementary, middle, and high school, there are a lot of different things that I need to keep up with on top of managing home, managing work, managing my YouTube channel, doing all of those different things, and also just taking time out for me. And so part of me doing that is making sure that I have a dedicated time where I sit down with my planner. I will look at my Google Calendar. I will look at my Apple Notes and my reminders and think about what I have coming up. I also have to look at the different apps that we get from the school and different announcements and things that we have going on. So it is important that when you take time to plan out your week and you have a dedicated time to do that, it will help you move into the following week with a little bit of peace and a little bit of calm. Now, you won't be able to plan for every single thing because it's life and things do come up, situations happen. That's just how things go, as you know. But you do the best you can with what information you have in front of you. So you set up those weekly check-ins or those daily check-ins so that you can also make the necessary shifts or changes in your schedule as you need to. And I can say that having the type of things that go on in our home, my schedule shifts quite frequently. And there are times when my schedule is very stable and it's steady and there's no pop-up type of things that come up. And then there's times when there are things that do come up and then I have to reorganize my planner. So I check in with my planner on a regular basis, but I make sure that I have a dedicated time where I can sit down and plan the things that I need to focus on. So if you don't have a good rhythm or a good cadence as to when you're checking in and when you're planning your week, it may cause you to feel more reactive and sporadic and scattered in your day versus feeling like you have a good handle on things and you know exactly what is coming up, what you need to be prepared for, what it is that you need to do. And so if something does come up unexpectedly, you already know what you have in front of you and what you need to actually move around. So it's important that you have a time where you can plan, because that is you bringing some order and some structure to your day and to your week. And if you have kids, even bringing structure in order to them, because if you have structure in order to your life, then you will be able to help bring structure in order to your home and also to your children's life. And that is going to be a huge positive impact that will last them for years to come. Tip number 6 is to match your planner to your brain. Now, I know that it took me a while to figure out what actually works for my brain. And so again, you don't want to go with what's popular, but you need to understand what actually works for how your brain processes information. So even though you may have a planner that works for you as far as the type of planner, you want to have it where it works for your brain. There are times when I was exploring different types of inserts to see how I like them. And there are times when they were a lot of lists. It was a week on one page. I've dealt with an hourly spread on 2 pages. I've had a month on 1 page. So I tested out a lot of different inserts and different layouts to see what really worked for me. And I found that as of right now, my horizontal layout without all of the different lists and things, just a basic horizontal layout has been working for me right now. It's not that there's no other type of format that works for me, but I have found that in my current season that this has been a really great way for me to stay focused, but also just be able to interact and engage with my planner in a way where I don't feel like I'm overwhelmed or like I have too much to do. And then I just start to feel a little bit anxiety and then feel stagnant and I'm not being as functional and productive as I would like to. So you really want to have something that matches your brain so that you can approach your planner with a place where it's complementing how you process information versus forcing you to process information in a way that is not as natural. Tip number 7 is to make space for purpose and not just tasks. So your life, your vision is not confined to just checklists and to-do lists. You're not living a list life, but you are living a vision-filled life. And you are a person with purpose. And so your planner, I believe, should also help you be involved and active in your purpose. And so you want to make it about purpose and not so much about lists. You're going to have lists, you're going to have to-do lists and checklists and things like that you want to check off throughout the day. But you also want to create space for purpose, meaning knowing what is your big why, what is your vision, the vision that you have, the intentions and the affirmations that you are going to be embracing and embodying throughout the day. And so make space for purpose. So that could be writing a scripture down, that could be writing an affirmation down, a place where you can write your gratitudes or your intention. But I think it's important that you start out with purpose and make space for that so that even the small tasks, even those small mundane tasks, can feel like a part of the bigger picture. There's always a why to what it is that you do. And so when you make space for purpose, you're also allowing your mindset to shift into how you're approaching the things that you need to do today. So it could be as something as simple as you need to cook dinner for your family or you need to do laundry. These are just tasks that we do on a regular basis and on a weekly basis. And sometimes these can seem like really mundane tasks, but you being the person who's managing these things in your home, you want to be able to approach even the most mundane tasks with a heart of gratitude. And so even in the Bible, it tells us that in Colossians, I believe it's 3:23, it tells us that whatever we do, we need to do it heartily for the Lord and not as unto men. And so even when you are washing clothes, doing laundry, cooking dinner, you're sweeping the floor, whatever it is that you may be doing that may feel like a mundane task, if you think about it from the place of you are bringing cleanliness in order and structure to your home. You are creating a home that is peaceful and calm, where everyone can come and feel safe and feel like it's a refuge and a sanctuary where they can be at ease and at peace. And it's because of the things that you are doing. It's because of what you have put your hands to do in your home. You are creating this atmosphere of love where God is truly there. And so you want to approach your task in a different way. So when you create space for purpose in your planner, or even if you're using a notebook or however you are bringing this into your life and working on these things, you want to create space for purpose and vision so that you don't feel like you're just stuck in the weeds of doing things and feeling like you're just this task rabbit, just doing, but you are bigger than that. You are not a task rabbit. You are not living a checklist or a checkbox life, but you are bringing purpose and vision and peace into people's lives. And it starts with you. So when you can identify and see the bigger picture, the purpose and the vision that is a part of your planning, then you will be able to approach your task and approach all the things that you have to do with a better mindset and also from a more holistic standpoint. And tip number 8 is just to reset when you need to. We all need resets at some point. We need to recalibrate. We need to take a step back. We need to step out of the picture and really assess, what's going on and what changes do you need to make. So this is also very important. Whether you are deciding to do a weekly reset or maybe a quarterly, it really doesn't matter when you choose to do a reset, but it's important to know that there's going to come a time when you actually need to reset your planner. So that may mean looking at what type of planner you're using, the different planners you're using, the format, the layout, all of those things that you are using. I find that when I'm starting to feel a little bit bored, or maybe I'm not as motivated with my planner, even though I might like the inserts and the formats, they're really working for me. Sometimes it could just be a matter of changing out a planner that I have, or it may mean adding some type of different decor. It really doesn't matter what the reset is, but I think it's important that you know what type of reset you need. I know right now I use my planner every single day. And as much as I love decor, I love stickers, I love all of the things, right now I have not been able to make a lot of time for stickers and washi tapes and all of those things. I've been really just pen to paper and highlighters. And occasionally I've been able to throw in some stickers here and there. But at one point, I had a lot of time where I could sit down and really spend an hour or two in my planner and really just do what I wanted to do and decorate it and just have that time to just have fun with my planners. But now it looks a little bit different. I'm still doing some highlighters and stuff and maybe washi here and there, but it's not nearly as much because of just the different things that I have going on in my life right now. And so that is just something that I had to recognize. This is how my planner season is looking and be okay with that. There's times when I may do some changes after my kids get out of school because there's less things that I need to keep up with. I don't have to keep up with various school events and homework and field trips and projects and all of those things that I would normally keep in my planner. And so it creates a little bit more space for me to do other things. So you just want to make sure that you are able to give yourself the permission to reset any time of the year when you need to. You don't have to wait for a new release to come out. You don't have to wait for a new planner to come out. You just want to make sure that you're giving yourself what you need at any given particular time. You know you best. You know what season of life you are in. And so you want to make decisions from that place and not from an external place where people are saying, this is the planner to use. This is awesome. You should buy it. Get ready for the release, because it does happen. There's so many different planner releases and you see all of the videos about all of the new launches and it makes you want to go and buy. But if that's not something that works for you right now, then I would encourage you maybe to just hold out, or if you feel like you can't help yourself, go ahead and get it. It's up to you, but you want to make sure that the planners that you are using, the notebooks that you're using, and how you are using them is going to support you. Your planner is a representation of your life and how you are living it. And if you want to live a life filled with vision and purpose, then your planner should be more about that than just checking off to-do lists and pretty boxes. So you want to make sure that your planner is being used as a tool that is going to help you make room for what matters the most, manage the things that you need to manage, and help you move your life forward in the direction of the vision and purpose that God has for you. So I hope that these 8 tips helped you to realize how you can get the most out of your planner to stay focused, organized, and on top of the things that matter the most. And if you haven't already, please remember to subscribe to this channel if you enjoy this kind of content and you want to stay on top of when the next video comes out. Until the next time, you all have a blessed day and I'll see you soon.